Learning to flow. Learning to flow is essentially learning to glow. We're so strict on ourselves, man. It's not even that we're strict on ourselves, it's that we want change, we want positivity, we want happiness, we want love. So how we do this is that our minds essentially predict how we can achieve positivity, love, happiness. Our minds essentially send predictions of this could send us happiness, this could send us positivity, this could send us love, this could send us joy. But they're only predictions. So when the mind tries to say, okay, let's do this, we do it, but they're predictions. So they might not happen. And this is true, like, it's quite fucking powerful, is that if we can understand that they're predictions, they might not happen, we can start to analyze the truth of the mind. Because the mind sends predictions, but it doesn't necessarily send truth. So the truth is that if the mind is sending predictions or sending predictions of how we can achieve happiness, we can step back and say, okay, they're predictions. Let's not be so hard on ourselves if they don't come true. Because the mind doesn't really care if the predictions don't come true, because actually the mind doesn't want them to come true, because if the mind's predictions come true and everything turns into happiness and love, ultimately we will be happy and we will be loving. The mind's job is not to allow us to stay in consistent connection with happiness and love. The mind's designed to give us happiness for a short period of time and then give us a whole heap of like frustration, anger, suffering, because it's the energetical imbalance when we go from loving to suffering, which creates a massive exposal of injustice to our true nature. And it's this charge, it's this frequency which we dispose when we go from that juxtaposition of harmony with the loving and the happiness to the imbalance of the mind and the frustration and the anger. It's this imbalance or this disposal of frequency change which creates essentially it creates a disposal of frequency which is never wasted. It's always used within the realms of infinite possibility or infinite consciousness, because we must understand that we live in a quantum field of energy and no energy is ever wasted. So there's a lot of truth behind it, but let's focus on when we start to understand that the mind is essentially sending patterns of information which we can essentially refer them to possibilities, and we can't be hard on ourselves if some of these possibilities don't come true, because the truth is that we are infinite possibilities, and if one possibility doesn't come true, it's not meant to come true. We can't be hard on ourselves, because this is where the mind says, haha, yes, you failed, you're useless, you suck, is when we're hard on ourselves. We just need to be relaxed, and we need to learn it's okay. There's no stress, there's no worry, there's no fear, there's no anger, there's no frustration. All it is that wasn't meant to happen. And this is the power, is that nothing's meant to happen, because everything is possible. So there's no one right way, because the calculation or our truth of existence might not add up. And who are we to judge it? Who are we to say, oh no, that was meant to happen? This is, I'm disciplined. I'm disciplined and this was meant to happen. Discipline is great, but discipline can be the being disciplined of being happy and being positive. How many people have the discipline of just being happy and positive without having to have all these crazy regiments to try and keep their sense of focus obtained? I mean, everyone's different, and a lot of us need to have this sense of discipline to protect themselves from the insecurities of our own selves. But that's what I'm talking about, is that as long as we can free ourselves from the insecurities, which most of the time come from failure or thinking that we're failures, and the ability to bring a sense of just self-love, we can start to just, I'm not saying discipline is bad, because it's crucial, but what I'm saying is that a lot of the time we're so hard on ourselves, which gives the mind the opportunity to inflict all the suffering which we become disciplined about in the first place. It's a loop. Essentially, it's a loop. But the true acceptance of just being acceptive has more power to break the loop than any regiment regime by far.